We have another college football doubleheader on CBS this Saturday, beginning with Army and Air Force in the early game in Arlington, Texas. And in the 3:30 slot, it's a big-time matchup in the SEC West as the Auburn Tigers head to College Station to take on Texas A&M. It's been a resurgent season for both programs after early season setbacks. Jimbo Fisher and the Aggies have a head-to-head win against Alabama, but Brian Harsin and the Tigers are the ones who control their own division fate. And a win this week could help set up a potential division championship game in the season finale at home against Alabama.
I'm very proud of this team. I didn't see anybody on the sideline flinch. Everybody had the right response in some critical moments.
Meanwhile, A&M's season was on life support after back-to-back losses, but the Alabama win has them back in New Year's 6 and potentially even SEC title contention, riding a 3-game winning streak into this Saturday.
Big hole on the left side, 20, 15, 10, A-Chain, touchdown, 6 for 6.
New Year's 6, SEC championship, and potentially even playoff hopes on the line. Saturday, 3:30 Eastern on CBS, Auburn and A&M.
So let's welcome in Gary Danielson, who will be on the call for the SEC on CBS, Auburn at Texas A&M. I want to start here with Auburn head coach Brian Harsin. How impressed are you so far with him in his first year there?
Oh, Amanda, he's done a great job. I have to say, it's, to turn a program that Gus Malzahn had run for, years and had a unique style. It's unlike anything else around the league, the way he runs almost a triple option offense and remake it with Mike Bobo, the same players doing a whole different style of game. He's rounded them, and you can see on tape that they've improved. They have a focus of what they want to be. They're playing sound football, and I think overall, in this conference, the team that's surprised me the most this year from the beginning to the end to at this point, to say the least, has been Auburn. They've really played some good football. We'll find out how good they are, though, this week against A&M.
This is going to be a big test, and you've said they're really surprising there. So Alabama may be the number 2 team in the country, according to the college football playoff. But when it comes to the SEC West, Auburn has been very good. They probably have something to say about that. Do they control their own fate here in getting to the SEC championship?
Oh, absolutely. They went out. They're going to get to play, Alabama in that last football game. And, it would be, we've seen them do this before, beating Georgia and Alabama. Now the schedule's a little different now. It used to be the last 2 games. And now this time they've already played Georgia. That's a loss. They're going to get, this Alabama football team. And if they win that, they will control their, own destiny. Of course, that means they had to beat A&M. But that way they go into that game. Can you imagine that? I don't think there'd be any committee brave enough to not put Auburn in the playoffs if they beat number 2 Alabama and number 1 Georgia and avenge their loss against Georgia. So, yes, they do. I do think they have to play better football than they've been playing. I think this week will be a step up in competition. Watching the tape of Ole Miss, I thought, teams have to take advantage of the situation that they play in. The game is the game. And that game, Ole Miss had some nicks. Their quarterback was nicked, and Auburn made them pay for it. Let's see if they can do again to Texas A&M, because as we've seen, that's a tough place to play.
Gary, when it comes to the Aggies, they've had quite the turnaround, allowing just 14 points in each of the last 2 games. Before that, they allowed at least 20, in some cases up to 40 points in their previous 3. What's been the key to the turnaround for this Aggie team?
Man, I think it's just playing complementary football. They went through that process where they lost their quarterback. They weren't getting great play out of that. And you could almost feel a malaise around the football team that, we all stayed here. We got a senior defense, and we're getting a bad break here because we lost our quarterback. And then they had an opportunity to change their season around. Zach Calzada had a great football game, and it seemed to wake up the whole football team. And now they're playing the way we thought they played. I think they were preseason 6-7, right, in that situation. And, right now they're playing as good as anybody in this league. They've got a quarterback that's hot. Jimbo Fisher knows how to manipulate offenses. You're looking at Wylander right there, one of the great tight ends in college football, and they're going to be a handful for anybody. And Auburn knows what they're up against, but Auburn has a defense that I think will be ready for the task. I think we're going to have a great football game.
You've mentioned a couple times how tough it is to play there in College Station, especially at Kyle Field with the 12th man environment. I mean, you've covered every single team in the SEC for so long now. Where does that environment rank amongst the SEC?
Oh, that's a good question. It surely is, tied. I always like to put it this way. I mean, I always say once in a while when we're having a great night with the family and we're out, nobody's going to have a better time than we had. At least we get a tie for it. And I think when you go to A&M and play there, it's at least a tie for as tough environment as anywhere around the SEC. The swamp that sometimes, playing at Tennessee when they're rolling and they believe in their team. Hey, Auburn's home field advantage has shown up over the years to be as good as anywhere. So there's 5, 6, 7 places, Death Valley. So it's what makes this league special. There's about 7 places that all can brag to be about the best there is in college football.
I will say when they were in the Big 12 along with OU, I avoided that stadium at all costs. Let's break down this game a little bit. Let's talk about Auburn's defense going up against, or Auburn's offense, going up against A&M's defense.
Yeah, you know where it all starts. I mean, Bo Nix has shown that he can play under constructive criticism and coaching, and Mike Bobo is doing a great job. You see the flashes of what Bo was in the past, but before it felt undisciplined. Now it feels like it's an addition to what Bo was before. He can play the slow game, the confident game, the patient game, but if he needs something else, he can do it. And I think the whole team is better for it, and it complements what they want to do on defense. Both of these teams are only going to run about 63 to 70 plays a game. It's more like an NFL-style football game than modern coaching, modern college football where it's spread out running 85 plays. It's kind of old-school football with two guys that were ex-quarterbacks and like it a certain way.
Switch it around there. Let's do the A&M offense going up against this Auburn defense.
Well, it again starts with the turnaround at quarterback, but they can run the ball. They, I think, have the best two-back combination in all of college football. Spiller and A-Chain are not only strong and tough, but A-Chain, you could make an argument that he might be as big a breakaway back that they have in all of college football. So that is really gelled. I don't think they have a great difference maker at wide receiver, but their slot man, Anais Smith, kind of a do-it-all type player, former running back, slot back. So they've got a really good, strong offense. And, Auburn will have to be up to the task. It's good that they're healthy now. I think it's good that they faced, some high-level offensive teams. And, playing Georgia as physical as they were should get them ready for this A&M offensive style.
We can expect this to be a close game, at least it seems like it, but Texas A&M is favored by 4.5 at home there. The total is set at 49. How do you see this game playing out?
God, I wish I knew all this stuff, like that. That would make it really good. I could get 2 paychecks every week. I don't know. Every time I think I can figure this stuff out, here's what I think good coaches do, and I'll answer it this way. You have to prepare your team to play in any style of football game. If it's going to be a 17-10 shootout for the defensive standpoint, and you're running and you're grinding for every first down, you feel you can win. But you also have to build that type of offense that can get into a 42, 37, 38 game and win it that way. I think both teams are capable of doing that, and I think they both have kind of pointed to the fact that we have to be balanced and we have to get our team ready to play. I would guess it'll probably be a low-scoring game.
All right, Gary, we appreciate it. Safe travels there to College Station. We will see you on Saturday, the SEC on CBS. As Chris mentioned, coming in. Have fun, Gary. Thank you. Well, as Chris mentioned, this is the only game this weekend with 2 ranked teams. You get number 13 Auburn going up against number 14 Texas A&M. Auburn 4-0 against A&M in College Station, but it's the Aggies this weekend who are favored there by 4.5. The total is 49. Gary, he doesn't give us picks because he's calling the game, but he did say he thinks it would be a low-scoring game. Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.